Okay, so we are setting up for Tawantinsuyu. Sorry, not Tawantinsuyu. Tawantinsuyu. Put it that way. Probably gotta get my camera right situation here, and I'm still in the setup phase. So what I have are my God cards here. 6, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 God cards. And the way this works when you're playing the solo for Tawantinsuyu is I have to look at these God cards and select essentially 5 that are going to give me stuff. And then the other ones are going to go into my hand for the game. So I'll be adjusting my camera for the main game, trying to figure out a way to get it all, as much of this as I can on camera. But for setup, this is a significant part of setup, is figuring out which God cards do I want to use in the game. And so I do this even before I place my priest, because I don't know what exactly I'm going to do. Now, getting a building is not bad, so that would be a good one to play on the front end. Getting a tapestry would not be a bad one to get on the front end. I would draw 3 and pick one, and you can always see the top tapestry tile that's showing, so I can see that this is the top tapestry tile showing, which actually has a symbol that I could use. So I know that's one that I would seriously consider for my starting hand. And the buildings are off to the side here. So the 2 buildings showing that are just ongoing effects. Basically, I can use a blue worker like a green worker, or like a blue worker on green spaces, or a green worker on blue spaces, and still get the effect. I believe that's what that building is. And in this one, 2 corn equals a gold equals 2 bricks. So it makes my resources a little bit more interchangeable, which is kind of nice. And those are just ongoing effects. And then there are 2 production buildings sitting over here. This one gives me 3 bricks. That one gives me a gold and a potato. So part of the question, if there was there's one building that whenever you place a tapestry, it gives you the effect right away. That one's not showing up. I really kind of wish there was a stairs in here, but I don't see one. Now I don't have to discard a worker if I get this worker here until after my first turn. Then I have to be down to 2 workers. So if I use a worker on my first turn, then I can take any worker from this display and just refill it. And that would be a good worker for me, which is, it was not a bad deal. I kind of like that one, because if I use this, number 1, I'll get a potato, which is kind of nice. I can use potatoes. So I'll put that in my supply. And I think my camera is off where my supply is here. Let me adjust that so you can kind of see it. Oh gosh, it's not working. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better. Yeah, so here's my supply. So I got my potato and I get a worker. I'm going to take a green worker because that'll give me an extra action. And then there's nothing that's going to refill this, so I'm just going to refill it that way. Makes it a little easier. So that is one. I do want to build, I think, a building, so I at least have something I'm starting the game with. And I kind of like being able to use the blue and green interchangeably. I am going to double check on that rule to make sure I'm doing it right. This is building 5. Craftsmen can be used as architects, and architects can be used as craftsmen. That's pretty good. I need a corn to build that building, and if I do this building action, I can gain the corn, and then I can pay a corn and a stone, which is what that one costs. And now I can use my craftsmen and architects interchangeably in the game, which opens up some other space options when we actually get to playing. So that's not bad. I am going to go ahead and build a tapestry, and I know I like the tapestry that's on top here, so I'm just going to connect that. So whenever I take the merchant action, I will get this option here, which is paying a gold to move up 1 on the temple track. That seems like a really good option. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shift my tokens over here a little bit, get them out of the way. So now I need 2 more cards. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really concerned about victory points right now. I want supplies and stuff. But since this tapestry card, if I use a gold, I get some stuff, then I think just getting, I can get potatoes in game. I can get 2 gold with these 2 and 2 points. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move my points up to 2. You start on 10, and I'm going to get 2 gold because I know I can use those in place of other supplies. And then these remaining God cards here are going to be, these get shuffled back into the deck because they are not used. And then these 3 will actually become a part of my hand. So they're just going to go down here. You can't quite see them off screen, but I've got these 3 different God cards, and they'll influence to some degree. I have to play those God cards. I have to play a God card or a gold to move to a place on the board, and I can get more than just the worker action based on the placement. So if I want to go to, say, this space here, then I would have to play that God card to go there. Now, since my blue and green workers can be used interchangeably, going there will get me 2 actions, which is actually not a bad deal. So I'm probably going to put my priest right there so that I can take that action early in the game because it is a good action to take. And that will give me 2 with my green worker. And I have the God card to support it. If I had a statue, I would also get a gold, but I'm not going to have a statue that early, so we'll just go with that. And that's set up for the game. So I'm ready for my first turn. Okay, so we have, first of all, welcome to Unraveled Game Thoughts. Woo! It's been a minute since I did my Tawantinsuyu video, and I finally have Tawantinsuyu at the table here. I am probably going to have to refer to the directions a bit. The Axomama, or Axomama, is the name of the automa for this game, and it's going to take a minute. I'm probably going to have to refer to the rules a few times to double check that they're doing, that I'm doing it correctly, and I probably will still end up getting it incorrect at some point. So I have, you hopefully saw me pick my God cards, and I believe I corrected a thing or 2 that I was supposed to do differently. I think like getting a weaving, I wasn't supposed to spend corn when you get a weaving on a God card. But I have spent those, and I think we're ready to go. So my first action of the game, let's see, I've got a green worker, I've got a white worker, and I've got a yellow worker. And I can put it anywhere out here. I have to pay corn or potatoes if I want to move around on this first level, and I have to pay more corn and potatoes to move down. So it's 1 corn or potato to move one side or section away. It's 3 to move 2 sections away, and then it's 3, I believe, to move to the second level, and 5, no, it's 2 to move to the second level and 5 to move to the third level. So I'm likely wanting to stay in here, and I have to choose, I have these 3 God cards, And basically there's 3 different symbols for 3 of the different potential God actions I can take. So if I'm trying to stick to this area, then that's one. I don't have a blue guy, unfortunately, or that would be a good one. And I have that one there, which I could play. I could also pay a gold to go to any place. I don't have any idols, so there's no real benefit in having to have the God card. If I had the idol, I would also get the stuff at the bottom of the God card, but I have no the statue, but I have no statues. So that's not even an option. I'd kind of like to do a green because that will give me a bonus action, but I'd have to go downstairs to do that. Or I'd have to pay a coin to go, well, I don't have a card. The only green card is way over here. I'd have to pay 3 corn or potatoes to go there, and that's a little expensive. So I think it's gonna come down to, I'm probably gonna use my yellow, because with the yellow worker, I believe if I'm the first worker, I can then pay decrease placement by 1 potato or corn and gain 1 task if this is the first worker. So I could get 2 tasks because it will be the first worker. If I use my white, I get to take a God card from the offer, but there are none in the offer, so it doesn't make sense to do the white yet. And I could pay exactly 1 potato to gain a task. Well, I have a potato, but there's no God card, and I'd rather get a God card if I was gonna do that than not. So the meaty decision here is, where would I like to put this yellow guy? And where would I like to go to get 2 tasks? That's the other thing. And I kind of want to keep it to where I'm not paying corn, if possible, because I think that's more efficient. I wouldn't mind getting a blue guy at some point. We'll have to see. Building steps would be good, but I don't have enough stone, so I really need stone. So if I put this God card in the offer, which I hope is showing up, you can kind of see it on my side camera here a little bit where my offer is, even though it's harder to see what it is, but it's there. And then I put my yellow meeple on the same symbol. I'm gonna lay them face up, and I'll just lay them like that. I don't know what's gonna look better, but I'll do that. And I get 2 actions because it's the first worker on that level. And now I have to decide, what do I want? Well, I really want some stone. So I'm gonna take this action here and get some stone. And now do I want to look at 2 army cards and pick one, or do I want to get potatoes? I feel like potatoes are going to be easier to obtain later. And I have this building. I almost forgot I had that. It's been so long since I set up. I can use my green workers as blue workers and my blue workers as green workers. Which, you know what? Let's take our God card back, because I forgot I had that building, and that makes a big difference. I'm not going to use my yellow. I'm going to use my green worker as a blue worker, which means I get a bonus action. I believe I get a bonus action, just 1. +1 task when on a green space, but since I can use them as a blue, I get +1 task there. The reason I want to do that is I'm still going to get stone, which is that action there, but now I can pay 3 stone, which is the cost to build stairs. And I'm gonna build a stairs here, and building stairs gives me, I gain 4 victory points. Whoops, that's not victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I get 2 potatoes and a corn. So that's pretty Stairs are pretty productive, and anytime he ends up using my stairs, I'm going to get some victory points. Plus that gives me some supplies, which is very handy. Okay, so now he does some checking. The first thing the Oxomama wants to do is he wants to see if he can do what's called a secondary action. I think that's kind of an interesting name because they're not really secondary actions. I would almost call them primary actions that you try to work up toward doing. Nevertheless, he is going to try to do that. And okay, so if he meets any of these conditions, High Priest activation conditions, so offering. He has 4 corn or more. He does not have 4 corn. Has at least 2 face-up production buildings. He does not. 1 or more statues, no. More available soldiers than the number of workers in the casualties of war. He has 1 face-down soldier, which I think counts for his available soldiers, if I'm not mistaken. So he would have 1 available soldier, and there are no casualties of war. So theoretically, he will take the conquest action if it's within 2 spaces of him. Well, the conquest action is where I'm at. It is not within 2 spaces of him, so he won't do that. Okay. Now, I have to go to how he chooses his position. Okay, and if he has no workers to place, blah, 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 he does not, he has workers to place. He's got 2 workers down here. Kind of got his board all jumbled around, but there's his 2 workers. He's got a couple of corn and a couple of stone. So, and he's got 1 tapestry here and 1 army card. All right, so let's see how he does this. So if he does not trigger a High Priest action, which he did not, he has at least 1 worker, which he does. It will place a worker on the board and perform an action. It has multiple workers to pick from. It chooses its oldest, or if this is the first placement of the game, pick randomly. So we're going to pick randomly. Let's get this rolling around in my hand, and what do we drop out? A yellow. Okay. So he's going to use his yellow worker. To place a worker, roll the die to select one of the 4 god cards tucked under the top of its player board. So we're going to roll the die, and we rolled a 3. All right, let's see here. 3 would be this god card, that symbol. So let's see, find a space on the main board that matches this god symbol of the selected card, prioritizing the top terrace of the hill before the first festival, the middle terrace between the first and second festival, and the bottom terrace after the second festival. So he's looking for that symbol, and the closest one to him is here. Now, I don't believe he pays corn for movement. If multiple valid spaces exist on the desired terrace, he chooses the space with the lowest combined descending and roaming cost, but he does not pay those costs. There's 1, there is 2. This would be the lowest combined cost, so he would place that worker there. Let's see what he does. Place the worker on the selected space. Oxomama does not pay roaming and descending costs. Then discard the chosen god card from its board to the central offer. So that goes to the central offer. And you know what I forgot to do on my turn? I was supposed to put my card in the central offer. So there it is. We'll do that. Try to have room for everything there. All right. And draw a god card from the top of the deck to replace it under Oxomama's board. So we draw this and we place that under there. Done. If Oxomama's worker uses your steps, you gain VP normally. It then performs all actions under the tokens on its player board matching the rolled number, top to bottom order. Auctions in the top row require no payment. It rolled a 3, so it would get potatoes, and this would go 1, 2, 3, as I understand it. So it's going to get 3 potatoes. Done. Okay. And then there's no 3 here. There is a 3 here. Let's see, can he do the bottom action? Actions in the bottom row require no payment, but they may be impossible to perform. So he would gain a card, and I believe he just takes 1 face down card into his hand. So now he has those 2 cards. And this goes 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I know if he gets like 5 potatoes, he doesn't use potatoes like I do. He just discards 5 potatoes and gets 5 victory points. There you go. He has 5 or more potato in his supply. He exchanges 5 of them for 5 VP. So he's just gathering potatoes for the sake of getting potatoes. All right. Okay, so we're going to keep going. I'm going to leave that open to the Oxo Mama, and it's my turn. So I have 2 God cards. Now if I played on here, it wouldn't be the first worker. But if I played down here, it would be the first worker. I just don't have any stone, and I kind of need more stone. But if I play in a different level, I could potentially get something. I've got some potatoes, so I could get a production, another production thing. That wouldn't hurt. We've got 1 that gives a stone, but I would need a stone. I would need 2 stone, but it gives me 3 stone when I produce, so it's not a bad one. I like it. I just don't know if I want to get that one yet. I don't have, well, I do have a symbol there. I'd rather go there, I think. So I think I'm going to pay a gold to go to put my yellow worker here, and that's going to cost me not just a gold, but it's going to cost me a corn to move 1 space. And because it's the first worker in that section, it gets an extra action. So I am going to get 2 stone with this action, and then I am going to use those 2 stone and 2 potatoes to build a production building for myself. I'm going to do that. I'll put these productions over here. I'll leave those over there with the tapestry. I don't know if these are visible. We'll just kind of leave them up there. There's my supplies. And now, if I want to, I can pay a corn or a potato to get a worker from over here. That is a tough choice. I think I am going to use a corn and purchase this guy, a blue worker. And that's that. But for now, the first thing he is checking is, let's go through that list again. The next 2 High Priest actions are purchase a statue and purchase and produce. But he has no buildings, so I'm thinking he will not do either of those things. He's not going to be able to do those next 2 actions, so then he is going to roll the die, and he rolls a 1. So he is going to obtain 2 corn, and that's going to go forward 1 space, and he's going to build a ongoing production building. I forgot to reload the last one there. He would need a stone and a wood. Builds random of required type for 1 stone or 1 gold. So he pays 1 stone to build. So he just pays that, and he picks one of these, the oldest one, so he'll get this there, and then that moves forward, and there's no 1 down here, so that's his actions. And oh, did he place a worker? He was supposed to go 1 and place a worker on the section that he could, but his closest section that he can is there, so he's going to do that. Let's see if he prioritized colored spaces or if it's random. I mean, I want him to take the not colored space, but it might be that he always takes the colored space. Finds a space on the main board that matches the god symbol of the selected card, prioritizing the top terrace of the hill before the first festival, blah, blah, blah. If there's no matching space, tries to find if multiple valid spaces exist on a desired terrace. He chooses the space with the lowest combined descending enrollment cost. If still tied, choose randomly between the tied options. Well, it wasn't really random, so let me do it random. So we'll say 1 and 2 are colored space, 3 and 4 are the non-colored space. And he gets a 1, so he's going to take the colored space. We'll do it that way. That makes it random, and then it is my turn. Okay. Let's see here. I did the production thing. Wouldn't hurt to make that produce. And I have a decreased cost of 2. I can't remember if there's one thing, if I use my steps, I don't get the benefit, but another one where I do. I believe moving down, the owner gains 1. There's a lot of interesting rules with the various aspects of this game. I've probably read this rule book 2 or 3 times, and I still can't remember everything because there's a lot to keep up with. So when an opponent uses your steps to decrease the descending cost of placing a worker, you receive 1 VP. Although using your own steps still reduces the descending cost, you don't receive any VP when doing so. So if he uses my steps, I get VP, but if I use my own steps, I don't get VP. It does reduce the descending cost, so I can go there for just 1, for no corn. Basically, I don't have to pay anything because I'm going in a straight line, and I'm going down, and I think I'm going to do that. I am going to place a worker there. I'll put this god card in the stack, but that's going to make 4. So then I take all of these, I put them on the bottom, and I put that god card there in the offer. And let's see. Let me double check a thing. I think it's only if this matches the color, yeah, do I get to do a thing. So it's the statues that give me an ability. So I like that space because 1, I can take the production building without flipping. One of my produce buildings will produce without me having to flip it. So that would give me 3 stone, which is fantastic. And do I want to build anything? So here, a potato. It says potato greater than God card. What is this? Z, it's hard to see it, 19. The writing on these little pieces is a little tough to see. Let me find the buildings. Z19. Anytime during your turn, you may pay 1 potato to draw 1 guard card. Well, that's not bad. I could get a production building. I would need another potato. I could get another production building, which wouldn't hurt. Gives me corn, which is kind of nice. I like that. Or I could keep my stone for steps. The only other thing I'd be doing is getting potatoes. So I think building a building is going to be the significant thing to do here for my second action, because my guy there gives me 2 actions. I'm going to do the building. I could either go potato and gold. I think I like corn. I think I'm going to go for the corn building. I like that. So we'll go that route. And then it's his turn. He's not going to want to produce. He's not going to want to build a statue. So what does he want to do? He's going to want a worker, but he has no workers, so we have to do the no workers process here. If Aksamama has no workers and does not meet the condition of a high priest secondary action, it does all the following. Recruits a random nomad worker. Let's do that. Let's get a random and pull it out, put it down there, and then these go back, and we refill just as if it was a normal game, which means we grab one from the bag here and put that there. No problem. Discard up to 2 god cards from the offer oldest first. Well, I would discard that. So that's 1. And 1 VP for each discarded card, but I assume since there's not another discarded card, he just gets 1 VP. Draw 1 army card and place it face down into its hand below its board. He's got a lot of army cards. I need to probably get some. And move the High Priest 1 spot clockwise on the Korakacha without triggering the action. So it goes 1 space. Now he's within the Conquest action, which he probably will take next turn. All right, and that's what he does. That's what he does to gain a worker. So he's done. It's my turn. All right. The festival is triggered when all these are gone, and if you trigger the festival, you get this bonus token. It's worth 1 point the first festival, 2 points the second festival, and 4 points the third festival. So if you think like Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan has the 3 eclipses, and then the game is over. So this one has 3 festivals, and then the game is over. So a similar sort of setup when it comes to that. All right, so it's my turn. What do I want to do here? I've got the 1 worker. Oh, I could have bought a worker last time. Well, I didn't have enough resources to get a worker. So I really couldn't have gotten a worker. And I really kind of need a god card. And he doesn't have any in the display. I haven't placed any. One of the actions that I can take, and these are the actions that I find to be sometimes the hardest to remember. I can do a praying. I could take 2 god cards from the top of the deck or from the face-up offer. Look at the drawn card before deciding. Okay. I could draw 2 army cards, put 1 in my hand and discard the other. Or I can take 1 nomad from the nomad's worker space and then draw 1 from the nomad. So I get 2, if I take secondary actions, if I don't place a worker, I get 2 secondary actions, which could mean moving my my guy around the board there, or it could be getting the god cards. I could move him twice if I wanted to. But I think what I'm going to do is draw 2 god cards from the display here because I want to see what's going to be helpful. And I think for my other secondary action, I'm going to grab a worker from the nomads because I think this is going to help me out next turn to do this. So that is my turn, my 2 secondary actions, and it is his turn. All right, I think he is going to trigger. There's no casualties of war here, so he's going to trigger that. And let's see what he does when he triggers the, what do you call it? The Conquest Action. That is what he's doing, the Conquest Action. All right, so Conquest. He plays all of its army's cards in hand for free, and then chooses the available Conquest space. Because he's going to move 2 spaces to Conquest because he has the appropriate number of... He has more soldiers than there are casualties of war. He's going to play all these cards for free, so he's got 3 soldiers. And then he's going to choose the available conquest space with the highest depicted skulls. So each of these spaces have skulls. Breaking ties in the following priority. Okay, so the highest number of skulls that he can afford, which would be here. He's going to look for skulls or here. So ties, following order, region with the fewest conquest markers overall. We don't have any. Region with fewer than 3. Region with the fewest of yours. And then Tawantinsuyu. Oh, this is fun because they didn't put the names of these regions on the board. So I have to look it up in here to see what the heck these regions are. Tawantinsuyu is up there. So I think he goes Tawantinsuyu and then Kwalsuyu. Oh, Chinchasuyu is the next one he chooses, which is up there. So this is the second. So he goes there, there, here, and then here. That's his order of priority for choosing those spaces. So he's going to lose all of, I think he loses all of his cards because they all die, I believe. And then discards and flips army cards face down according to standard rules. So there are 3 skulls there. So he is going to discard. We'll put that in the discard pile for the army. And then he's going to take one of his conquest cubes and put it here. Now, does he get the rewards? Well, I would assume then it gets the benefit here of playing a steps. I don't know why it wouldn't, which would then give it, what does that give it? 2 potatoes and a corn, and it would get 1, 2, 3, 4 victory points, and then it has 5 potatoes. So he is going to discard 5 potatoes to gain 5 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have Oxo Mama getting some stuff. He is ahead of me on the victory point track. So let's see. What do I want to do? Well, last turn was sort of my setup turn just to get to this turn. Doing that doesn't help me. I don't need to rejuvenate anything. I kind of want a production phase at some point, but it helps to rejuvenate first, and if I can gather corn to get a worship action, get up the temple, that would actually be very beneficial. I can get potatoes there. Got a green worker, but that's only going to help if I put them on a green space. I do have a green space there, but I have no corn. I need to get potatoes to get stuff. I'd have to pay a potato to get another card. What does the white worker do again? I gain 1 card from the offer or the top of the deck. So I could get a god card from the top of the deck with that. Man, I hate to pay my gold for a potato just to move. I don't like the idea. Although, if I place that there, so if I use this god card, which I think I'm going to do this, and I place this here, because there's another green worker there, that goes to the offer. And since there's another green worker there, I get, I think, an action for each worker, if I'm not mistaken. We should get 2 tasks, which I'm gonna go ahead and take, oh man. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take 3 potatoes and 2 stone, because the stone is so valuable. I feel like that's more helpful. And then if I want to, I can pay a potato to get another worker. This is tough. That's a yellow for that. I don't have that. I wish I could get a green worker. But I can use, well, I can just use them like that. It doesn't necessarily help me. Well, let's get a warrior. We'll pay a potato, get a warrior, because that'll give me cards later. All right, so he doesn't have buildings he's gonna rejuvenate. He does have corn, so he's gonna do an offering. He is gonna go over here, and he has 4 corn. What does Akshamama do with the offering? See if I can just find it on this board. As much as it can do. How does the offering work? Performers in a multiplayer game offers worshippers as much as it can for the standard cost. Okay. And last time when he did the Conquest action, if I had warriors, I could have paid some resources to follow. I didn't have warriors, and I don't think I had resources to pay it anyway. So he can spend 2, 4, or 6 corn. He has 4, and that will give him 2 advancements on the temple track. And he will gain a card from there, and he will gain a potato. And if he gains a god card, whenever they get a god card, you take the oldest god card from the display, put it on the bottom of the deck, and then he gets 1 victory point. That's his, the end of his turn, and then it is my turn. Okay, I've got none of these statues here. I feel like this is going very slow. I don't know that I'm wearing the same clothes, and you probably saw the camera adjust there for a second, but now I have a Orabel, Great Divide Orabel to go with Tawantinsuyu here. Orabel is a fantastic beer. No real theme, no real theme tie-in at all. I can't imagine how a Belgian light beer would remotely tie in with the Incan civilization, but maybe somebody can post a comment that will make that link. All right, so what am I gonna do? I haven't moved up the temple. He got that god card because he moved up the temple and got to do that. So he has done his thing, and then I need to decide what in the world am I going to do. I could get a card for the warrior here, which wouldn't be terrible, but I wouldn't get an extra action. Let me pop in. I think that's all I get if I play a warrior. 1 adjacent worker other than a warrior. Wait, take 1 adjacent worker other than a warrior and draw a card. Okay, so I get another worker back, which is kind of good. I'm debating, I can't build a statue. You have to go to at least the 2nd level to build a statue, which I could go there with that and pay a potato to get an extra action. I could build a statue. I don't have gold. I could get a weaving. Don't have corn though. So getting corn is a thing that would be nice. I could get more god cards. Ooh. I would need corn to do that. So I do like that option. Well, building steps is handy. So let's build steps then. I think each step lowers the cost by 2. Let's go here. And let's see, what is that going to give me? I take 1 god card from the offer or the top of the deck and pay a potato to gain 1 task. You automatically get a task, but so I have to do that. And I am also going to take a god card from the top of the deck, and I gain 1 task, and I can pay a potato to gain a 2nd task. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get 2 more stone, and then I am going to use 3 stone for that 2nd action to build a staircase. And I am going to build steps. I'll go ahead and build steps here. That I think will be helpful. And he might end up using them, which will give me victory points. So if I build steps, I make sure I get the right number of victory points. I think it's 4. Build 1 steps, 4, 2 potatoes and a corn. Yep, 4 victory points, 2 potatoes and a corn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get 2 potatoes and a corn. Okay, so now he is going to decide what he wants to do. Can he do any of the actions? He doesn't have, let's see, these are my produce buildings. I'm actually going to put them next to me here because otherwise I'm going to get him confused with his. He's only got 1 produce building. He does not have enough stone to get a thing to get a worship action. And he has a worker to place. So he's going to decide where to place a worker. He is going to roll the die. Let's see. Let me get that out of there. Roll some die. So he wants to do the number 2 action there. He has this action he can put there. And since he rolled the 2 die, it doesn't matter if there's a thing on it. He's going to do this one, which is going to give him 2 stone. And then he's going to do the number 2 here, which is build a stairs. 1, 2. So if he builds, let's see, building stairs, he can build in his section if he can. Otherwise, next section is clockwise in a valid spot. Avoids building under yours if possible. Build elsewhere. So he'll spend 3 stone. And he is going to build a steps here. And I believe, yeah, because I would think he still gets all those benefits. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he gets 2 potatoes and a corn because his things trigger whenever he does certain things. I don't know that his buildings, I wonder what his ongoing buildings do. You know what? When I recruited Oh, I think I did give him an army card when I did that. So I think we're good. He's built the steps. He got all those things. He's out of workers now, so he's going to get more workers. He's going to take a random one from here, I believe. We'll take a look at that next turn. It's my turn. I really would like to get some corn. I'll be honest. That's what I would like. So I think I'm going to spend this, put that in the offer, and go here to that space. And I'm going to get 2 corn, because I really need corn eventually to catch up to his actions. And I am also, I could take a worker that's next to me, I believe, other than a warrior. So I could take this. I get to draw 1 soldier card. So that's in my hand. And let's see here. I think I will pay a potato to... you know, I should probably double check that I'm not cheating. Like if I have to pay potato at one, I'm thinking potato or corn to get you from either side. But I kind of want to pay potato anyway. That's, I feel like, a good option. So we'll do that. And it is his turn. So does he have what he needs for produce? No. For statue or worship? No. So he's going to do a regular action, and you know what we forgot to do last time is put that in the offer and put this under here. All right. So he's going to roll a 4, which means, oh, you know what? He doesn't have a worker. So he's going to take the no workers action. And does not meet the conditions of High Priest Secondary. Does all the following. Recruits a random nomad worker. Okay, we'll do that. So there he goes. Gets a random nomad worker. And what else does he do? He discards up to 2 god cards from the offer, the oldest first. So we'll do that, getting those 2. Scoring 1 VP for each discarded card, and draws an army card and places it face down into the hand below his board. Done. And moves its high priest 1 spot clockwise on the Karancha. Okay, so he is probably going to take a, what do you call it, a conquest action. Next turn, most likely. Okay, so I roll a 4, but that didn't matter because that's not the action he was taking. He was just getting a worker. All right, he is done. My turn. So I have 2 god cards here. We're getting close to potentially not having any workers left in the village there. I think one of the actions I can take is to get workers from the nomads, I feel like. I may have to do that at some point. Training, draw 1, take 1 worker from nomads, refill, then refill nomads from the bag. So I could do that in a bit. I've only got this one, which actually wouldn't be bad there. How do I purchase a statue? Does it have that on there? Build a statue. Pay 3 and gain 3. 3 and 2 to gain that. All right, so I could get a statue. That would not hurt. It's not a blue space, so that's not going to make a difference. Man, that's a tough choice. Or I could produce Ooh, with a building. You know, I kind of like paying that card to go here and a potato. So I get 2 actions. And do we want... That's going to be in the offer next round. So I could build that. I could produce... I could get a tapestry. Ooh, that would be awfully nice to have a tapestry. Especially one that makes gold. There is one on top. You know, I think I'm going to do the produce action with... I think I'm going to do the produce action with my corn building there and get corn. And then I think I'm going to take the tapestry action. I'm going to look at the top 3 tapestries, just to make sure I'm not cheating on this one. Draw 3, and I can buy 1, 2, or 3 for 1, 3, or 6 corn. And so let's see what we have here. We have, I really want this one that gives me a gold, but I already have it here. So I can't get the same tapestry. I can't get the same pattern in the same tapestry, so I won't be able to do that one. And this one would be, I'd be able to, what do you call it? Get stone, but it again is the same tapestry. So this is the only one that is different. And I'm not sure I like the options here. I really want that one and just can't get it. So, and the thing is, what am I going to connect here? These are the only 2 for a completely separate weaving. It might give me some options down the road though. So I think I will spend 3 corn, even though it's not exactly what I want to do, and I'll start myself a new tapestry there with the same benefit. And then I'm going to have to go after a gold. And then he is going to pay 2 corn to get himself a tapestry, which has to be a new tapestry for him because he has that tapestry already. So that's him, or that's me rather, and my 2 actions. And so now, do I want to pay a corn or potato to get a worker? I think I'm going to pass on this one. And I'm going to let him go. So he definitely wants to go here. He wants to reveal. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. And so he's going to go to the place with the most of the skeleton ones. And so this is the most with an empty. So he has to kill 3, and he's going to prioritize these 2. And he gets to put a guy there. But he does, I think, get the reward for that. Which would be 2 tapestry weavings. So we're going to give him 2 tapestry weavings. I need to... Takes a free merchandise. He scores 1... Oh, he just scores a victory point for weaving it he owns. So he'll get 4 when he does that. All right, so he took that action, and then I have 1, which I could play for corn. And it doesn't actually hurt me to do that. I will flip it face down because I could definitely go up there. I could get victory points there. Oh, I could actually. I like this. I'm going to let it die over here and put one of my guys here because that gives me 2 potatoes and a gold. And I'm really looking forward to gold because I think it'll help me on the when we get one of those festivals triggered. Okay, so that is that. Well, I'm not really where I want to be. I think I'm going to take a nomad action and grab one nomad from the nomad space and put out a new worker. And then I believe I will draw some god cards here. I'm going to be going around that way, and I don't really want either one of those. So I'm going to draw 2 blind and see if I get lucky. And I did not. So there you go. That's that. And then it's his turn. So does he want to rejuvenate? No. Does he want to worship? No. He doesn't want to do either of those things. Which means he's going to roll the dice, get a 3, and he wants to go on a symbol in front of him, place a worker there, and he's going to take these actions. So if he had a stone or he's always going to get a gold, but he just pays 1 stone for a house. So he is going to get the oldest house, I believe, there with his one of his gold, because that's all he has. And then we will refill, and then he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then he rolled a 3 here, so he takes, I don't even know. Oh, he takes the lowest one from the corn side. Corn side of the village, but he doesn't pay for it, so he's got a worker now. And I believe that's it. I believe that's it, because he has a worker. So he is good to go, and since he got that worker, he gets one of these cards. He's got that face-up one played, and he's got this face-down one. All right. Good deal. All right, we got one villager left. I forgot that every time one of these went there, we were supposed to have a casualty of war. So there should be 2 because he's done that twice, which means a festival is triggered. So let me see if the player aid has the festival information on it. Each players perform a free merchant task. So he scores a victory point for each of his tapestries. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy enough for him. I can pay 2 gold, and I can move up the temple track 1 because I have each of those. So I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to go 2, which is going to give me a potato. I'm going to get to look at 2 of these and take 1. Well, I'm definitely taking that one. Let's put it there. And then I get a god card. I'm going to draw a god card. That is one that I kind of wanted, so that's good. All right. All right, each player receives VP to the right of their current position on the temple track and the resources depicted on the left of that position. Oh, that's interesting. So I get to draw again. Didn't really matter. I get that. He gets 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and he also gets a god card, but he just draws, puts in his hand. All right. Check each conquest region. The player who has the most conquest scores VP equal to the current number of workers in the casualty of war area. So 2 for him, 1, 2. 2 for me, 1, 2. 2 for him, 1, 2. All right. It's not the 3rd festival. Return the festival token to the game board and then draw additional workers from the bag to refill the village VP. So in a 2-player game, the player with the fewest VP draws 2 cards, and the player with the most VP draws 1 card. Okay, so I draw 2 cards, and he draws 1 card. Well, he doesn't draw a card. Whenever he would draw a card, he just gets a victory point, I believe. That's how that works. All right. Then in turn order, starting with from the active player, each player may play up to 3 god cards to receive any benefits depicted on them. Yeah, I get the temple benefits first, so I would have paid 3 potatoes for my god cards, for sure. All right, and does he pay for god cards? That seems kind of lame that he would not pay for his god cards in his hand. Festival, free merchant action. Does not pay potato for its tucked god cards instead of drawing god cards. If it has fewer VP than you, he scores 2 VP. Oh, okay. I gave him 1, but he would have to have fewer than me to gain VP. So just kind of a catch-up mechanic for him. And now, if I want, I can pay. I can use my god cards to get things. So let's see here. What do we have? We also are going to reset these buildings. So let's do that. And we're going to do these and reset. What do we have? Whenever we rejuvenate, we get a warrior and that. That's pretty handy. I can use that. And whenever we gain a tap, weaving, we get a merchant action, a free merchant action. That's pretty handy too. So I want one of these. I think I will keep this one, but one of the god cards I will discard, which will then clear the offer. We're going to start a new offer. So I will do that god card to gain a stone, and then I can build a thing here. I think I kind of like, man, that's a tough choice because the produce action is going to be pretty good for me. I don't know. Whenever I rejuvenate, I gain those. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to have to take this one for a corn and a stone. Well, I think on the god cards, you don't pay the price for building it. You just gain the, I think you just gain the thing. Oh, and you pay for it 1 stone, 1 corn, which you have previously skipped. So you do have to pay for the building. So I'm going to pay my corn and my stone so I get my building. And then the question is, do I want to keep or discard these? I think I'm going to discard that just to get 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like that will be beneficial. And do I want to keep that or gain it? It gives me a potato and a worker, which I think I am going to discard it to get that from the nomads and a potato, and then I will keep that one there. So that will go to the offer, and I believe that will be the end of the festival. So it is, I think, his turn again. So does he want to rejuvenate? He does not. Does he want to pay corn? He does not. He wants to place. That was an awful die roll. He wants to place a worker. He wants to use his 2 card, which is going to be that one. And he's going to place a worker in front of him if he can. He wants to do the top tier. So he doesn't pay corn. He's going to go clockwise around. He rolled 2. So he's going to gain, I believe, 2 stone before 2 corn. And then he's going to go 1, 2. And then there's a 2 here. So he wants to build a statue, but to. He doesn't have enough. So let me double check his statue. Well, he could have actually, instead of gaining a gold, he could have paid a gold because he had it to gain a small statue. He would, when he gains a statue, what does he get? All right, so he rolled a 2. So he gets that statue. Okay. So, and technically, this is the card he is discarding anyway. So, at the end of his turn, he's got his statue built. That goes to display. He draws another card. Okay, and then, 2. So he wants to gain that worker and move 2. Okay, my turn. All right, I think, man, I really, really need corn and just don't have it. There's just not a ton of ways for me to get corn here. I can play a potato to go that way. And that would have 2 workers near me. So I would get 3 actions. Well, I think that is what to do, is to pay 1 potato to go around and go there, and that's going to give me, I would get 2 actions. No, there are 2 workers of that color adjacent, and so I'm going to get 3 actions there, and I have to discard this to the offer, and I will get 3 actions. So I'm going to gain 3 potatoes, I'm going to gain 2 stones, and if I choose, I can build do we want to build? I really need corn, so let's get that and build a corn produce building. So I have 2 of them now, and then that will go there, and then it is his turn. All right, I forgot to refill the nomads earlier. So what does he want to do? He doesn't want to rejuvenate. He doesn't have enough corn for that. He wants to play a card. He's gonna roll the dice. He rolls a 3. He wants to go bloop there. So there's his fella, and he rolled a 3. So there's our 3. 1, 2, 3. He's getting the corn at that space. And then we don't have a 3 there. We have a 3 here. He gets bottom worker. 1, 2, 3. Done. And then it's my turn. All right. So we're getting a little faster at this now that I'm kind of getting the overhead for the Oxamama down. It still takes a lot of work. But I don't particularly like my options here. But that village is disappearing, and I desperately need to produce. So I am going to move my guy there. And I'm going to do Rejuvenate Action. And let me double check what that does. Rejuvenate. All players may flip spent buildings, and these cards face up, paying 1 for each of them. Active player may pay a potato instead and may flip 1 house or card for free. And I don't have any to flip, so it's not really necessary, but I do have this. Whenever I take the Rejuvenate action, I get a card and I get a gold. So I'm going to take those because I find that they're valuable. And then I get a second action, and I'm going to go 2 spaces over here to produce. And let's double check the produce action. Make sure I do that correctly. Produce. You receive the benefits shown on any number of your face-up production buildings and flip those buildings face down. Before or after doing so, you and only you may choose one face-up production building to turn back over. Afterwards, every other player may also receive the shown benefits on any number of their own face-up production buildings, then flip those buildings face down. Okay, gotcha. So he is going to get to produce. So he is going to get a gold and a potato. I'll go ahead and give him his supplies. I'm going to get 1, 2, I'm going to get 4 corn. 2, 3, 4. One of the things I will say about this particular game is the production quality is fairly high. I don't know that, I think the art is so-so. Front of the rule book is fantastic. I love the picture of the temple in the front of the rule book. But the art in the rest of the game is like, it's okay. It's not bad. It's just but the production quality is pretty good. The wooden corn and the wooden potatoes are really nice. I mean, the stone cubes aren't anything out of the world, but they're not bad. And the gold, the differentiation in those pieces is really nice. So I like that. Okay, so I get to flip one back over. I'm going to flip that one back over. And that is my turn. So he's going to go, does he want to rejuvenate? I forget his decision with how to do that. So he has to decide. High Priest has a combined total of 3 or more face down buildings and or army cards, but he doesn't per se. And he only has 2 corn. He'd have to have 4 for an offering. So he wants to roll his die and go. He's gonna go 2. And this should have disappeared last time. For that, he gets a 2. That one comes out. So he is looking to place on that symbol. There he goes, right there. He gets a thing. All right, so we have 2, giving him 2 corn. And he's got a 2 here, 1, 2. He's going to get a weaving action. He always purchases 2 weavings, I believe, for the same price that I would, 3 corn. So he is going to pick a weaving that he could put in his action here that he doesn't already have. So just put those down there. So he wants either this one or this one, but not that one. And he could put both of these into his top 1, which means none of these are going to connect the way he wants them to. So he's got that not going for him, but he's only scoring points for him. So we're going to, rather than sticking these all together, I'm just going to stack them a little bit. I feel like that's better. Done. He's got his weaving, and then I can, if I want, purchase this weaving. But I would pay 2 for it. It's actually, I could use it in the 1, but I don't really need the stone, so I am not going to purchase it. I'm just going to stick it on the bottom, and that's that. All right. And then the bottom 2 is going to be 1, 2. He gets 2 victory points. So he gets that, and he is done with his turn. And it is my turn. Oh, and he has no workers. Huh. If you hear a lot of noisy yelling, that is my daughter and her friends. And my son and wife getting ready to go to the library. All right. So in my turn, I could I never bought a statue, so that would be no good. But I could, man, I've got 5 of these guys. I could really get some stuff here. 5 warriors, that's pretty good. I like the options, and then I think that would be a good option. Wow, that would be a great option. That's just victory points. That is 3, 4, ooh, 5. So I'd have to, 2 would be killed, 3 would be flipped, and I'd get 4 gold. Boy, that would be very handy moving up the temple track. So would the offering. That is a tough choice. Well, I'd have to kill 1 and flip 1, but that's all I'd be doing, is killing 1 and flipping 1. So I think for my first action, I'm going to do a conquest action. And this guy will flip face down, and that guy will be killed. And I will go here, and I will get 2 corn and a gold. I will take it. It's not bad. Now, he gets to do something when I do a conquest action. Soldier conquest. So he has 1 face up here and 2 in his hand for a total of 5, but he has to play a potato for each one that he plays. He is going to do the same thing, looking for the highest number of skulls that he can, and the fewest number. So I think he's going to go there. He's going to have to kill 3, but he's got 5. So if he kills these 3, and this one flips face down, so that's a face down card that's not in his hand. That makes a difference. And he's going to take one of these, put it up here, and score 11 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then for my second action, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to make an offering. Let me double check how in the world I make an offering. You may spend 2, 4, or 6 corn to advance 1, 2, or 3 steps on the temple's track. Other players may spend 3 corn to advance 1 step. So I could pay 6 corn to advance 3 steps, which I think I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have exactly 6 corn. I'm totally doing that to get up this temple track. 1, 2, 3, and I get all those rewards, which is lovely. Now I can't have any work at the end of my turn, so I really just need to take the stone for that one. And then I get 2 more stone. I've got just loads and loads of stone. And then I get a god card, which I think I can take from anywhere. I'd really like this one. I'll take that god card. And then I get to look at 2 and keep 1. I'm going to keep this guy. He's in my hand. He gets discarded. Done. His turn. So he doesn't have corn for that. He doesn't want to rejuvenate. He actually doesn't have workers. So let's do the no workers action, which I think is on here. Recruits a random worker from the nomad's space. And let's just put that there. He's going to recruit a random one, which gives him a stone. And I forgot, this would have been discarded last time, and that would have been reset. 2 god cards from the offer, and gains a VP each. So 1, 2. Draws an army card. This one, I'm just going to put it face up. That's his face down that need to be rejuvenated, and that's his face up. Okay. Draws an army card and Moves the high priest 1 spot clockwise, but doesn't perform the action. Okay, got it. All right. Now, I could produce. I think this is going to be the thing to do, is to do the secondary action of getting of paying 3 and 2 and getting a statue, because the statues I think are pretty valuable, and I am going to get this big statue here. So that's one action, and I don't think players get to follow that action. Discard. Oh, you do this. You don't get the statue. You have to discard the statue. Let's go back here. I did that wrong. So I got 2 gold and I paid 3 stone. So that was just getting the statue. That is not helpful. I would have to build a statue action. There's a build a statue action here. That would cost me 3 potato to get there. But it might be worth it, because I get 2 actions, since I can use my blues as a green, and then that would be having a green next to it. I would assume that would count, since I count my blue as a green. I could go down my own steps. It would still cost me 3 potato to get there, but it wouldn't cost me any extra potato getting down the steps. I think what I'm going to do is go here and produce and get 2 corn. And then I can flip a building over of my choice. And he doesn't have anything he can produce, so that's fine. And then for my second action, I am going to do a... Oh, and I was supposed to pay, I think, potatoes the last time I did this action. Or 1 potato at least. I believe. Let me think. I forget. Maybe it's corn. Maybe it's corn you pay for the conquest action. All players that. Okay. 1 potato each. Yeah, you pay potatoes. So I had potatoes for it. That's fine. I can do another conquest action now. This guy needs to be rejuvenated before he can do anything. If I take the rejuvenation action next round, what does that give me? How many things can I rejuvenate? All players you may flip and you may pay 1 food for each additional building or army card you wish to place. Okay, so they can pay corn and I can do it that way. All right. So I get to play one of these for free and the other one I have to pay a potato for. That's fine. I can do that. And the question is, where would I want to go? Well, I could get corn, and do I get a statue? Oh, it's a temple advance. I would advance on the temple. Well, that's not a bad one. And then with 4, that's 7 victory points. That would be 4, but I gotta kill 2 anyway. So I kind of feel like, well, I can get a lot of resources. 7, 4, oh man. Probably better to flip both of these down. It's a lot of things. And then I'll just keep this one here, and that will give me 3 stone and a gold, which I am just racking up the stone and gold. so I got my produce and I did that action, and he could flip a card down. He can play a potato, flip a card down, and he can put one. Where does he want to go? Well, he's going to want to get majority for me, so we'll just go there. That seems to make some sense. Take the majority from me. All right, and then his go. So he doesn't have 4 corn, and he doesn't have 3 buildings, so he is going to roll to see where he goes. He gets a 3, so he's going to get 2 stone, and 1, 2, 3, and then he is going to go, that's not a 3, that's a 3. So he wants 1, 2, 3. He's going to get a random from the nomads, which theoretically should be in here. So let's give him 1 random worker, which gives him a card, and then we're going to refill the nomads, which wasn't refilled before. All right. So there's our nomads. All right. So there we are, and then it is my turn. Nothing in the top region to go into. However, there is an option there. So I think gives me 2 actions if I go there. It wouldn't cost me anything. I think that makes sense to do that and place a blue worker here, which gives me automatically 2 actions, and I will gain 3 potatoes, and I will take a produce action with the building I have there for that. And did I just pick these up and I shouldn't have? I think they should all be face down. They're not in my hand, they're turned over. Okay, that's my action. So then he doesn't have 4 corn, he doesn't have 3 buildings to flip, so he wants to do a action, and he is going to pay, he's gonna roll a 2, actually, that one should have gone to the offer. It's cool. Let's see, he, got 2 there. So he's going to build a building for a stone, and he's going to gain a gold. So what does he build? He's going to build a production build. He builds the oldest production building for that stone. And then that's going to move 1, 2, and then that's going to move 1, 2, and he is going to build another building. He is going to build the oldest production building there. Actually, no, I think he builds this. So whenever he gets a weaving, he gets a merchant action, which I think just gives him victory points for all his weavings. And then these are going to refill. Technically those don't exist until he does his bottom 2 action. 1, 2, which is going to give him a thing here. And that's going to give him a card for his hand. And then we need another merchant. And then what was that? That was one of these actions, which would have reset this, which is fine. Reset that. He would draw another one and put it here, and I forgot to put a worker down on that particular space, which would have been there. Okay, now we have our nomads refilled. All right, so that's that, and that's all his things, and then it is my turn. All right, wow. A thing I forgot to do at the end of my turn last time is I was going to buy another blue guy here. So I think these are face down still. I'm going to do a Rejuvenate Action. Yeah. And I get one for free. So I'll flip that over. And then I can pay a food. 1, 2 for each other thing I want to flip over. And then what do other players get to do for rejuvenation? Pay 1 food. Other players may pay 1 corn per building or army they wish to flip up. So there's no reason he wouldn't pay a corn to flip his thing up. That was my rejuvenation. The question is, do I want to pay even more? I could only move up 2, but that wouldn't be bad. Or do I want to produce? I could go all the way to the produce and just produce again. And whenever I rejuvenate, I get a card. And I get a gold. I mean, I really need to build a statue. That's what I need to. I need to get here to build a statue. So yeah, I'm going to go here and I'm going to produce, which I'm going to get to turn one of my buildings back over. But that's going to give me lots of stuff here. And I'll turn everything but that over. Yeah, that'll work. That's a good production action. And he can also produce. Those are those buildings. He's going to get 4 potato and a gold. All right, so he's going to produce 4 potato and a gold. That's pretty good for him. So he's going to actually turn in 5 potato and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's going to be his turn. Doesn't have 4 corn. Doesn't have buildings worth producing. He is going to roll the die and go. He rolls a 4. It's going to be that one. He's going to place a worker here. Okay. And he is going to, let's see, he's got a 4, so he's got 4 there. He's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to build a building for that. And he has 2 of those regulars. So he's going to grab the oldest of those there. And then there's no 4 down there. He's done. So he throws that in the offer and goes there. Okay. It is now my turn. I can very well, let's see, pay a potato to go 1 space over. Oh, and I can use those as green, which is nice. And so I'd get 2. So if I pay a potato and to go to this area, and then I pay this card to the offer to use one of these blues like a green, I would get 2 plus that green there, 3. So I get 3 actions, all 3 actions that are in that area. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw 2 cards and I will, I guess, pick that one. I'll pick that one. Okay. And I'm going to get 3 potatoes and I can build steps. So I'm going to pay 3 stone to build steps, and I am going to build these steps, which I believe it gives me 2 victory points because it's beyond my own steps, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a 2 potato and a corn, I believe. Right? It's 2 potato and a corn, not the other way around. Build steps. 2 potato and a corn. Yep. And so, not enough corn for him to worship. He doesn't have 3 buildings, or no, he doesn't have enough buildings that I think he'd want to produce. So he is going to take an action. He's going to roll his die. He gets a 2, 1, 2, 3 potatoes, but that's going to give him 5 potatoes total. So he's just going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he's got a 2 here, 1, 2. He is going to build a building. So he'll get the oldest of these. You can always get a yellow worker, I think. All right, and then this 2, 1, 2, he is going to take that worker, which always gives him a corn, and then he's going to move that to the offer, get rid of those. I have no god cards, so I can't do anything as far as that goes. Did I ever put a worker down? I think I did. No, I didn't. I did not put a worker down. He got a worker, but I didn't think to put it down. He wants to put it in, he wants to put it around here. Right there. That's what he wants to do, but he doesn't pay for his stuff, which he's lucky that way. All right. Now, I don't have any statues, but I would like to build statues. It would cost me 1 potato to go there. And then to get to that action, well, I need a god card. So I'm not doing that because I don't have god cards. That's not going to help me. So I think I'm going to take 2 god cards. And I would like this god card from the offer. And then I'll draw 1 at random. That's my first basic action. Worshipping is not going to help me. I'd rather just potato to go, so I can do a prayer action, and I'm just going to grab a green from the nomads. I could buy that white and trigger a festival, but I don't think I want to trigger the festival yet. Oh, that goes here. I don't think I'm ready. I really want to get a statue, and I want to be able to get up the thing a little bit more if I can. Okay. His go. Doesn't have the corn. Doesn't need the production. He is going to roll the dice. He's going to roll a 4. And so it's going to be that. It's going to put this. He's looking for that symbol around the edge. It's not there. He's going to go down. He's going to grab it there. And then the 4, the only 4 he's got, he is going to build steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes there. And he is going to pay. Ooh, he doesn't have the money for it. So he gets a gold. He cannot build steps. Wow. Got lucky on that one. Okay. Now, I could take that god card, but I don't need to. I am going to now pay the potato that I wanted to pay earlier. Put that god card there, and I am going to put a green fella here. I use my own steps to decrease the descending cost by 2, which is all I would pay. And I get 2 actions. What I'm going to do is pay 3 of those and 3 of those to gain a statue. Now, what statue do I want to do? I kind of want that statue because that one is going to benefit me the most. And what does building a statue give me? Oh, 9 victory points to build that big one. Dang. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That was very good, and I get 1 more action. So, honestly, I'm going to build steps. So I am going to build steps. Man, I want him to have to use my steps if possible. So I'm going to build them here. Okay. And I haven't really paid attention. I don't think he's used my steps yet, so I think that's fine. So that's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4 victory points, 2 potato and a corn. That's cool. And that is going to give him 2 victory points because I had to use his steps. I built them below his steps, so he gets victory points for that. All right. Does he want to worship? No. Does he want to produce? No. He needs workers. And so when he has no workers, let's go to the no workers action. We discard a random worker from the nomad, or we don't discard it. We give him a free worker from the nomads, which is going to give him a little card there. We're going to refill the nomad's space, and we're going to discard 2 god cards from the offer, gaining a victory point for each one. So 2 victory points, and then he draws an army card yet again. All right, and then moves his high priest 1 space clockwise. Done. That's his turn. Boy, he's got, I feel like, powerful turns for the Axamama, and it is super hard to try and catch him. So what do we have here? Well, that's an option. Gives me my last step. But I also like, how does this worship action work if I do that? Discard statues from their player area to advance on the temple track. 1 large statue to advance 3 steps. Dang, that would be pretty good. The question is, do I want to try to use that statue at least once? Because it gives me a gold if I do. It gives me the stuff on the god card, rather. Not a gold, but the stuff on the god card, which in this case, that one is pretty good. So I think I'm going to pay the requisite potato to go around here and use that action. And I am going to get, so I'll get a +1 for him, but he can be like a green because they're used interchangeably. So I'm thinking I get a bonus action because he's next to a green. So I'm thinking I get all 3 actions, which will give me 2 corn, 3 potato, and I got that, which is going to give me a gold and a victory point. I'll take it. And then I'm going to pay 3 stone to build my last steps, and I will build that. I think, man, where do I want to go the most? I think I'm going to go, I'm likely to land there. I'm going to go here. I'm going to build the steps there. It's going to give him 2 victory points. Oh well. And then I will go ahead and pay a potato and take this worker and trigger the festival. So he's going to get a turn, and then it'll be festival after my turn, I believe. So does he want to do that? Nope. Does he want to do that? How does he decide if he's going to do a statue? Does he have to have 2? Let's see. High Priest actions. 2, no. 1 or more statues. Yeah, he will do that if he has 1 or more statues. Bloop. He's going to do it, and he is going to discard this statue from the game to move up 1 space, and he will get a, I think he will get a, you know what we should have up here is we should have more of these casualties of war, because multiple times we have gone here. All right. Okay. That's my I put some casualties of war up there because there should have been some there and there weren't. So we'll call it. We'll do it that way. All right. Secondary festival. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm triggering the festival this time. So I'm taking 2 victory points. I know I did that wrong. That was just really cattywampus. That whole I messed up the putting I forgot to put a warrior into the casualties of war every time I took the this action here. So I'll try to remember that this last round. That's a tough one. All right. Players perform free merchant task. So I can do that. So if I do 2 gold, I can move up 2 spaces, which is actually ironically going to give me 2 gold back. He will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That just seems way overpowered, in my opinion. All right. Victory point to the right of their current position on the temple track and resources to the left. So he will get I'm going to give him a stone and yeah, and then I am going to get a gold, and then he will get 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will get 11 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that'd be 11 victory points. All right. Conquest of each region. Victory points for the casualty of war. So he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, man, that is a ton of points for those. 1 potato for every god card. I have no god cards, so no potatoes for me. It's not the 3rd. Return festival to the game board. Select it on there. Festival draw after the 1st and 2nd festival. So I'm in last place. So I get to draw 2 cards, and he gets to draw. He does not draw cards. Okay. Each player may play up to 3 god cards. All right, and then we reset the building market. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have 1 more. I mean, we are close here. We are close. This is going to be our last deal. We'll reset buildings, and then it is my go. Okay, and we also have to reset the village. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to try very hard to keep up with these casualties of war this time. And I kind of think there was a couple of times I triggered a thing, but he did not actually have the number of warriors which would be typically used to do that. So let's see. So I am there. I feel like I really want that. So we really want, well, that's if I do that. I could do a worship action. I would go up the temple 3 spaces. That is not a bad deal. It has a lot of points. So I think I will go here for my first action. My secondary action, I will toss that out of the game 1, 2, 3 and go up 3 spaces. I feel like that is worthwhile. It's just hard to get up there. Now, the catch here is I'm not really doing good at those. So I think I'm going to go here, and I automatically get to flip 1, and then I can pay a corn, I think, to flip 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pay that. I'm going to flip all of mine back over. He can pay corn to flip his. So he will flip this guy 1, 2. He'll flip 3, 4, and he'll pay a gold for 1. Flip all those, and whenever I do a rejuvenation action, I also get that and a gold. I'll take it. I can use it. His go. So, does he want to conquest? He needs more soldiers than there. He does have it. He is definitely going to do a conquest action. He wants to do the highest number of... Oh man, he is going to take... He's probably for sure going to take that action. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for him not to take this action. To flip these guys down, he gets to put a deal here, and he gets 2 statues. So, he's going to pick statues from his deal there. He's got that, and he might as well grab that. So now he has those statues. I wonder if... Let me check something on the statues. When I had mine, build a statue, 2 gold. Statues can use trigger god cards. Okay, yeah, that's all they are. It doesn't matter if it's big or small for god cards. Okay. So he did that. And he got 2 statues, which is going to help him quite a bit. All right, my turn. I am definitely going here and definitely paying 6 corn to go up the temple track 1, 2, 3 spaces, which immediately gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 victory points. I mean, that is just absolutely necessary. Do I need to produce? I don't need to do that, and I don't need to do that. I do need to purchase a person from there, and he did that thing. I forgot to put a casualty of war in there. All right, so I'm going to do that. Still have that green guy, and what did I do with my second action there? Well, I just paying that potato for that top, but I think I'm going to take one from the nomads for my secondary action. So I'll do that, and then it will be his turn. So does he want to rejuvenate? No. Does he want to produce? No, he does not. He is going to instead roll dice. He rolls a 2. So we're doing that. And do we have that symbol? There, we do not. Do we have that symbol? Here, we have it here, but he does have to use my steps. So I get a victory point. And so he's going to go 1, 2 and get 2 stone. He's going to go 1, 2 to build steps. Pays his amount, and he is going to build steps. He wants to avoid giving me points, so he is going to go there to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and a double potato corn deal here. And then he wants to go 1, 2 and get an army card. Put it face up, and that's his turn. All right, what do I want to do? Man, I want to take some actions. I could very well build a statue if I had a build the statue action. So I would need that action card. It costs 5. Each one of those reduces 2. I would pay 1 potato, therefore, to move down all the way to here. Actually, I'm going to use this card because if I put a green here, that's going to give me 2 actions. Oh, that would have been in display as well. Forgot that he used that. That's going to give me 2 actions. With one of those actions, I can spend 2 gold and 3 stone, and I can build a statue. I want to build this statue. That is what I want. And then I can, do I go after corn? Do I go after stone? Well, I don't need to build steps. Statues is the only thing I would build. I don't have a ton of time left. That's a, man, this is, and I've got tons of these warriors. So I think corn is going to be key here. All right, he is going to go. Doesn't want to rejuvenate. Doesn't have the corn to play stuff. Doesn't have a worker. We're going to do no workers. Recruits a random worker from nomads. Okay, so he's going to get a nomad worker, which is going to give him a oh, what is that? Recruiting workers. He's going to get a god card. What does he, what the heck? He's getting a victory point. I know that much. See, he moves this to the bottom because it's the oldest. Technically, this is older like that. And that's what he does. And then discards 2 guard cards from the offer and gains 1 VP each. So he gets 2 more, and then he draws an army card. Oh my gosh, this guy with his army cards. And it moves the highest priest 1 spot clockwise, but doesn't perform the action. Okay, there's that. I really want to take this action with a blue or a green. That is what I want to do. That would only be there. Let's see if we have one. So we have one here. That's going to be 3 potatoes, minus 4, plus 5 is 8, minus 4 is 4 potatoes to get there. 4 potatoes, huh? Gee whiz, that's a lot. And all that just to get, just to use his, actually, I don't know. Is it worth it? That's the thing. I don't know. What I really want to accomplish here is probably, you know, I probably just want to go here and discard this to move up the temple. 1, 2, and that's as high as I can go. I forgot to gain 2 points for getting there, and now I gain 12, 75, 85, 86, 87, and then I gain 20, 97, 107, so I actually crossed him. Wow, that's crazy. And then, man, if I do that, I can, I can probably, I'm not going to take him in anything. I could get a gold, I could get a house, I could get god cards. I have to pick one area. Going up the temple more isn't going to help 1 iota. Victory points, though, could very well help. So I could just do these 2, and that would work. So I think we're going to go here, and I have to put a guy there, and then we're going to do kill 1, flip 1. These guys are face up. And I'm going to put a token here to get 7 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I need to carefully decide what he is going to do. Solo rules, High Priest action. Okay, he plays all of its army cards in hand for free. Chooses the available conquest space with the highest depicted, breaking ties in the following order. Region with the fewest conquest markers overall. Okay, so 3, 2, 2. So he's got 3 skulls there. Okay, so he would go there. All right, fair enough. He needs 3, and then he needs 2, but he doesn't have that. Okay, so he would go. He only got 4 warriors, so he would still, I think, go there. So kill these 2, turn over, and then he's going to place a thing here. Gets a move up the temple track for 2 and a corn. So there's that. He's got those things. And then it is his turn to go. Oh, and he could have discarded that, I think. What's the follow action there? Okay. So he could discard a statue to have moved 1 step, which would have given him 1 more and a god card, which he would just get a gold. Okay. All right. And then he is going to go. Doesn't want to worship. Doesn't want to. Oh, he might want to produce. Yeah, I think he wants to produce. He's got 3 buildings. So gold, potato, 1, 2, 3 potatoes. He will take a corn, and then he will take 3 victory points. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5 are because he has 5 potatoes. There's no reason. Now I can also produce, so I can get 4 corn and 3 stone. There is no reason not to. And then I have quite a few. 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a lot of warriors that I could fight with. So did he finish his turn? He did. He produced. Okay. So it's my turn. He's got statues, so he will go there next. Do I want to rejuvenate? Get one of those. Shoot. All right, going up the temple. I'm thinking once you go up the temple, like there's no, you can't go any further. I don't see a thing that says you can go up any further after you've reached the top of the temple. Build a statue. Workers construct a building. 1 turn of play, placing a worker. Doesn't indicate that there's any option for if you get up the temple. So my best bet is to score points for that. I could try to beat him there. God cards aren't going to help me. Building things, I can't really build much. Since I can't move up the temple, that's no big deal. Go after tapestries. Wouldn't hurt, but it also wouldn't help. That would cost me 5 minus 2, 3 to go there. Which I could build a statue that would give me 9 victory points. That's actually pretty good. Let's do that. Let's pay 3 potato because I have to get 5 to go here to put a worker there. And that's going to cost me, but I have steps. So it's -2. I don't get a bonus for using my own step, but it's going to cost me 3 total. It makes sense for me to use my gold to build a statue. So the question is really going to be, what statue do I want to build? I guess we'll go there. And that gives me 9 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That works. I'll take it. All right, now he is going to go here, discard that statue for 1 move, and gets him a goal. So that's that. Oh, at the end of my turn, I could have paid a corn and grabbed that, which I will do. His turn, he's not doing, he just did his worship action, and then on my turn, I could rejuvenate. That would give me that and a gold. I could worship. That's not going to help at all. I really want to end the game. So why not rejuvenate? Might as well pay a corn for each of those. Pay a corn whenever I rejuvenate. I get a warrior and a gold. Doesn't hurt. He can rejuvenate for 1, 2, 3 corn. And then he would rejuvenate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll rejuvenate 5 of these guys for his gold. He can do that. All right. And then, do I want to produce again? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, it gives me the potential option. So we'll just leave that one turned up. We'll get 3, and we'll get 6 corn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we'll do that. And then he can produce. So he'll get 1, 2, 3 potato. He'll get 5 more and a thing. We'll just do that. That'll give him 5 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then his turn. Does he want a conquest? He has way more soldiers than he does there. He is definitely going to do that. He is going to first count the number. He has 2. He can kill. And 2, he can flip, which he will do to put a guy here and go 1, 2, giving him a gold. And I can pay, let's see, I'd kind of like to go there, which would require me to kill 1 and flip 1, to put 1 here and get 1, 2, 3, 4 victory points. Okay, we got it. And then his go. Oh, and that did that. So the festival, I believe, will be on his turn of the player holding the festival token. So he has the festival token, so I get a turn, and then we're done. So the question is, well, I might as well, there's no reason to discard that statue. However, I can do this, and I can just make sure I get that. That's going to give me victory points. That's not going to help me. So yeah, I'm going to flip 2 of these guys down and go here for 1, 2, 3. And then he will what's he going to pick? He's going to pick the place. He has that, and he is going to kill 1 and flip 2 and put that here. Gets 2 victory points and a build action. We'll just give him this. Doesn't matter. And then at the beginning of his turn, he gets to do his thing. So let's see. The festival, we're going to do the festival scoring. Everybody gets a merchant action. Mine won't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he is 2 away from me. I don't know if it's shown up on the screen, but I'm at 130 and he's at 127 right now. So there's the merchant task. VP to the right. So this is where I get 22 VP. So I'm going to go to 52. He's getting 13, 27, 37, 40. So he's at 40, 140, and I'm at 152. Each conquest region. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 casualties of war, which means he's getting 14, 40, 54. I am getting 14 as well. 52, 62, 64, 67. Okay, nice. 1 potato for every god card. Have no god cards. And then we go to final scoring. Let's go here. End of the game and final scoring. After the third, tapestries. A tapestry composed of 2 will score 1 victory point. A tapestry, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to get 10. He's at 54, 64. And he's got a 1, which is 0 for him. Nothing. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I don't think he's cheating on tapestries. All right, the player who has reached one of the top 4 steps of the temple track, printed at the center. Oh, so I gave myself all those victory points. So I wasn't supposed to get 12, 18, 20, 68, 58, 48. So I'm actually there. I cheated, I think. So 2 victory points per face-up building, including passive ones. 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. That didn't help me. 1 victory point per god card in hand. I don't think he scores for that. 1 victory point per face-up army card in their area, not in their hand. I had 2. 1 victory point per leftover worker in their supply. 2. You had 1. Each gold. 2. 2. Let's see. That's it. That is it, I believe. Yeah, I think that's it. So the Automa wins 173 to 160. And it looks like, my impression is that the statues were, I might have gone hard after them. I ended the game with quite a bit of corn. So my first thought is, because there's so many things you can do in this game, that it's a lot of its action efficiency. The warrior areas obviously are very good to go after. This is the first time I played this game, so I am not sure if this was, well, I kind of played a little two-handed at one point, but I'm not sure if, when I first read the rules and I'm looking through it, I was thinking, well, you kind of go after weavings, or you kind of go after temples, or you kind of go after, sorry, not temples, but statues. And I went for the top of the statue, which scored me a lot of points, but he was able to climb the statue pretty well too. So I think there might have been some areas where I ended up giving him points or allowing him to take over some of these areas that he would not have, because I wasn't counting all the workers in the casualties of war area very well. It's hard to say. I do feel like after playing the Automa on this that I would prefer it solo. I don't like the overhead that is required for this particular Oxamama. It is very tedious to look through the rules and try to figure it out. If I only got to play games by myself and I did not have a group to play with, I could see this game being pretty meaty and fun. It is hard to figure out. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces. There's a lot of things to keep track of. I could see it being pretty fun for someone who wants a pretty heady experience that's going to take some time to master. This seems to me like one that would take a good amount of time to really master. There are a lot of things to keep up with that aren't as intuitive as I would typically like in what I would typically describe as an abstract game. Moving around the temple, trying to keep up with how many potatoes you got to pay, trying to keep up with, well, what do I pay potatoes for and what do I pay corn for? The player aids, very good. I like the player aids. They're extremely helpful, absolutely necessary. I like that the Oxamama is on the back of the player aids. That's kind of cool too. But man, there is a lot of stuff in here. I really do want to try this multiplayer. I'd like to see how the experience goes with other players. My first thought after playing this one time, and again, this is just one play, so I don't have a lot. I like the game. I don't dislike it. I enjoy it. I think it's kind of a neat way of assembling these various, combination of worker placement and climbing a track and trying to figure out how to build your engine or whatever you're trying to develop in your Incan Empire. I do think, I think it's one that's going to lend itself to a lot of analysis paralysis for folks that are prone to that. Probably watching me play here, you probably, notice I take turns fairly fast. I wasn't putting a ton of thought into it, not nearly as much as I probably could have. And I certainly wasn't really thinking through all the end game permutations that I could, trying to math out what the best move is each play. I don't know that, and that's because I really wanted just the experience of playing the game. I didn't really want to, I was trying to learn and go as I learn. I'll go ahead and throw a few tidbits in here on the comparison with other T games I played. I definitely like Teotihuacan better than this solo. Teotihuacan has a much easier solo to manage, and I have a hunch of all the solos to manage, this might end up being one of the more challenging ones. I think Tawantinsuyu was easier solo to manage, and I suspect Takenyu will be easier to manage, but thus far I think Teotihuacan has the easiest solo to manage. I don't necessarily think that Teotihuacan is harder than Tawantinsuyu. I actually think it's easier. In fact, I think it might be one of the best solos to manage of the T games that I've seen so far. So we'll see. I really need to run it again to see what I think of it, because I usually play it multiplayer. But this is Tawantinsuyu by, let me make sure I get the right David. I think it's Tershi. I don't think it's Tassini. But let's double check. Make sure I give credit where credit is due. It is David Tershi. So I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I believe he's the one that did Anachrony. Pretty confident he did Anachrony. And his games are great. I like what he's done. I feel like, I don't know, it's almost like, as much of a sandbox as a game like this could be, it almost feels like too much of a sandbox where it's just too many things to choose from. But that might have been the goal in the design, is how to create a worker placement, you know, multiple action type of game that gives you a lot of freedom to choose where and when you want to go. So if that's what they were going for, is that what David was going for, then I think he accomplished it with this, and made a pretty meaty experience with this one. So I think this will be fun for some. For others, it won't be the game for them. I think I'm probably going to hang on to this game. It is one I definitely want to play with folks a few times, and then after I've played it a few times multiplayer, I'll see. Once I've really played out the T games, I'll decide which ones I want to hang on to and which ones I want to. I think it's not as fun as the others, but I think this one does require several plays to really get to a point where it's like I feel like I have mastered it enough to make a decision in that realm. Teotihuacan took me 3 or 4 plays before I was like, man, this is fantastic. I love Teotihuacan and the decision making that goes on there. So thanks for joining me with Unraveled Game Thoughts today. Please post any comments, thoughts you have if you've played Tawantinsuyu. Let me know what you think, how you think it compares with Tawantinsuyu or Teotihuacan or Tekenyu. The last T game for me to get to the table is Tekenyu. So that will be next up on the radar. And until next time, thanks for joining Unraveled Game Thoughts. If you have time to look in the description, feel free to visit my Patreon page and check that out. And otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend.